Welcome to another video with Sam and Morgan. I'm sorry, I didn't do anything fancy for you. I'm sorry. We're trying different audio. I'm using a mic. Sam's also using a different headset. So hopefully the audio is a lot better. And we had a small meeting today and we decided that we felt like we were doing more like recaps than actually discussing the videos. So instead of like going through every single thing that has happened in the episode or like both of the episodes, we decided to just condense it down to one video and talking about one single subject. And of course, we're going to spend a couple minutes talking about like some of our favorite scenes in the first two episodes. Also, some conspiracy theories or some things in the news. Also, if you see anything in the background, it is thundering and lightning. If I get shot with lightning, hopefully I get superpowers. But if I'm not, at least I'm talking about Lee Min-ho. And if you hear things in the background, I actually have family visiting me and they're a little quite loud, very loud.
Just a
But
little
yeah.
bit.
Mhm.
And yeah, and like we're gonna talk about our favorite things and what we liked and all of that, but like it's a discussion video, so like talk in the comments if there's something you really want to
Yeah.
talk about. Like let's talk about it, cause
Even if you're spam, we'll still love you.
oh, I know. Yeah, so Morgan put up our video. Side story.
Mhm.
And was it like 30 seconds later? It was like here before 500 views. Let's be
Yeah.
YouTube partners. I'm like, spam. But then,
Spam.
like a minute later, we actually did get a real comment on one of our older
Yeah.
videos, so that was nice. That like we're still getting views and stuff from that, so that's fun. So you,
Yeah.
Morgan, wanted to talk about something in the news that you weren't talking about me on
Okay.
camera. So let's
Yes.
talk about that.
Yes. So I have two things to talk about in the news. The first thing is that the king, the eternal monarch, is actually in big trouble right now because of. Do you want to guess what?
The Japanese crap.
No, that was last week.
That was last week. Okay, what's the next one?
Uh, there's CGI. So in some of the scenes where they're showing Korra and they're showing the palace and they're showing the king statue, the CGI, and I even wrote it in my notes, sucks. Like it's not good CGI, and a lot of people are upset about it. Do you think that's valid or not?
Okay, so like I can tell that the CGI, but like I don't know, I don't care. Like
Yeah, I mean, like, but
like it's
honestly,
never
like,
been anything I've really like been like, oh, this is terrible. Like it's a TV show. Like they
yeah,
don't work off billion-dollar budgets. It's not like it's the Avengers or something.
yeah, and I also kind of feel like for me though, why include it? Like, if you can't do like CGI good, why include it? Like, there really is no, I guess for me, no like huge thing if I don't see the world of Korra. Like, honestly, you could just show shots of the Korean temples of like whatever you want to show, but like the whole overview shot, it just I don't know. It feels like it feels like a I guess a
Yeah,
bad
it's
sci-fi movie.
unnecessary. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But like it's never really been anything I paid like close attention to. They just like showed us we were in the palace. I would believe we were in the palace. Like I'm not I don't know.
Mhm.
And like I didn't like the CGI is awful, but I'm not like super paying
Yeah.
attention to it either. And like the some of it's not too bad. The scarring isn't too bad. Like when they're doing all the like lightning scarring and
Oh,
everything,
yeah, that
like
looks amazing.
that looks cool. I think it's just the bigger shots they just overshot with. But I mean, it
Yeah.
is what it is.
So, two of the other issues, not issues, I guess. One issue, which isn't an issue, just people are talking about, is that there's a scene uh, where Gon and Tail is talking, and uh, he mentions to her like, "Oh, I meet with her every Friday, talking about like the minister or the prime minister," and she was like, "Is she IU?" And people like lost their mind that they brought up like a K-pop singer in the drama, and I was like, okay, like I like when people do pop reference and like stuff like that in the drama, but it's like I don't know, I don't nothing to like really lose your mind over, even though I love IU. And the other thing is that people are not happy with the kiss. Neither am I.
You're not?
Listen,
I thought it was adorable. I was smiling. I was like, oh yeah. You know what? It was like I think we've watched too many K dramas. I'm desensitized to what like true kissing looks like now. So I was just like, oh, it happened. Like, yay! Like in the law of K drama, they will now be together.
okay, but this is okay. I can't speak right now because I'm like so flustered. because of Lee Min Ho. But like besides that, besides that, I've been watching K dramas since I was like 20, and I'm gonna be turning 30 soon, so I'm old, like old as fuck. Oh, I'm like the crypt keeper. And I been there for the awkward K drama cases where the girls' eyes are wide open and they're just like flat together. And we have gone far as a K drama community. Like there are some really, really amazing kissing scenes that are very romantic. This one seems like she was a fish out of water and couldn't breathe, and they were just Lee Min Ho right there on her face. It was right there on her face, and it just was not romantic at all. Maybe they were trying to like convey that she was shocked, but I don't know. If Lee Min Ho decided to kiss me, I would not be shocked. I'd be hugging him. I'd be like, yes. Even though I don't really think. I mean, I think he's attractive, but I'd rather have someone else. You know who Sam?
Yeah, but he's still pretty, so
He's still very pretty. Okay, that's all I have for the news. Da, da, da.
that's all.
We should call that
Yeah.
Morgan news segment.
I'll build
Morgan's
a
new. I
graphic
can't even
for
be
it.
speaking out. Morgan's news segment.
I'll build a graphic for it.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk favorite scenes.
Okay. Do you want to go first?
So I don't really have like a specific favorite like scene. I really like the two episodes were really good, and there's a lot to talk about between the two of them. I think the most interesting scene, and it's going to go into a lot of my theories, was Rim talking to the pregnant woman,
Mm-hmm.
because there was a lot to unpack in that, like
Mm-hmm.
a lot to unpack in that. And I think even though the scene wasn't like excessive, it told a lot about the story as because I think that's the jumping off point for the rest of the story.
Mm-hmm.
So I really liked how much information they gave us, but at the same time they didn't give us a ton of information. Like some pieces were starting to connect together, and I was like, oh, like so many theories were running through my head, and I was like, oh shit,
Oh shit! Oh shit!
it wasn't an exciting scene, but it was definitely a good one.
Mm. Well, I think for me, oh, there's my dog. Hey, Marley. Um, I think for me, my favorite scenes were more romantic than anything to really do with the drama. Like, I love the fact that he's so kiddish around her, like the fact that he's sneaking around the palace, trying to like be alone with her, and the fact that he gives a speech, and after the speech he takes like Young's or his bodyguards walkie and was like, wasn't I cool? And all the guards were like, you were cool,
Yes,
you were cool, you're cool, and she's just over there smirking like, what the hell. Also felt really cute that he used his hand to
to like
write things.
right,
And
yeah.
then the last scene that I really, really enjoyed was the whole Japan and Korra um, issue they had. Although I can't but wonder, is this going to like cause some real life issues with Japan, since they're really, really calling out, oh, there's some lightning. They're really, really calling out Japan.
I don't think so. I kind of called it last time, like the last discussion video we had, or like two before that. Like he like casually mentioned like the
Mhm.
whole Japanese conflict. So I was like, wow, we got a resolution with that pretty quickly. But
Yeah.
I felt like it was like anticlimactic, I guess. Like it
Yeah.
all
Well, I
happened, and
felt
they
like
had these like battleships, and they were like getting ready to like fight. If they're all like four warning shots, and then the Japanese are like, "Oh no, the king's on the boat, and they're not backing down. Like retreat." What?
so I felt like it was stupid the fact that he put up the flag, because it's kind of like he's kind of like pointing here, like, I'm here, I am here, I am here, I am here, and I'm just like, you fucking idiot, have you not ever played Battleship before? Like, they're gonna sink your ship super fast.
If you want to
But
take over the
besides that,
kingdom, kill the king. Like
yeah.
I don't know.
um
I also thought it was kind of funny too when Young was following Tail around, um, all around, and then followed her to Seoul and everything. And then we also got confirmation that Luna is her doppelganger.
yeah, and I think we knew that from the beginning. And also
I did too, but like it's good to like have like verbal confirmation of it.
yeah, but also the top of that, the whole like thing with like him giving back her badge and being like, I didn't remember the person. You get the flashbacks. It's obviously Lee Min Ho. Like, I know those eyebrows from anywheres. It's him. And I'm so annoyed though, because I'm like, why can't it just be her? She can be a badass. Like,
Mhm.
But that's
See,
it. That's all my favorite
my theory
scenes.
has changed of who it is. Like, I don't think it's Lee Min-ho.
Who do you think it is? The bodyguard?
I think it's Young.
Yeah, the bodyguard.
Yeah, the bodyguard. I think it's Young. And you
Mm,
want to know why I
I
think it's
don't. I don't know.
is because when she was taking all of her stuff out of her pockets, there were only like a few people in that room watching her take all of her stuff out. And Young was one of them. And I don't think Gon took it, and I don't think Okay Nam or whatever her name is took it, and Tail obviously didn't take it. So who else knew that that badge was in there? Who else knew the
I
importance
mean,
of that badge?
yeah, I completely agree that he took it. Although, doesn't mean that he's gonna end up at the palace back in time fighting. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I for a long time I thought it was Shinjae, but maybe that's just because I love Shinjae's character, and I'm just like, I love you.
Maybe.
Just
And were you a little confused when Tail was walking around her old neighborhood and she was trying to find like Shinjae's doppelganger? It took me a
yeah.
minute to realize like we had switched universes.
Yeah, me too. It took me a while until like he ran into the girl at the convenience store. By the way, I realized where I recognized that girl from. That girl right there, she is from Girls' Day, which was a K-pop group I used to love. And so when I saw her face, I was like, "You look familiar. I don't know who you are." And I realized she's a K-pop singer, but she's from Girls' Day, but they broke up. So
Mm.
she's an ex K-pop idol.
But I'm
Um,
like, oh, his mom went bankrupt in both universes. And after a while, I'm like, oh, we're in the other universe. It wasn't very clearly defined through the whole thing, so it took me a minute. I was like, "Oh, I'm stupid. Okay, I know where this is going." Because they crossed streets, and the thing about it is, like, if it was his doppelganger, he obviously wouldn't have like recognized her, so he would have walked right past her just like he did. And I'm like, "Oh, there he is," and no. So I don't
yeah,
know
I
if it
completely
was like
agree.
his doppelganger or not, or if that's just going to be something they let go. That and so does she live in Seoul or does she live in Busan?
Her who?
Hale, like
No, she lives in Seoul.
okay, because it seems like he goes back and forth in the bamboo forest, and I thought geographically we were all in the same spot because his palace is in Busan and she lives
Yeah,
in
but
Seoul.
that statue that she stares at where she first met him, that's
Mhm.
in Seoul.
But like when he crosses, then he switches
This
to the other side of the country.
This doesn't make any sense to me. I'll be honest with you. Also, the fact that they're fucking going to war and he's like, I need to drop you off. And then we find out that the middle part, which is another episode we're going to talk about, like, we're going to talk about it in another video. But like, he's like, oh, time here doesn't flow. And it's like, and minute here is like an hour on the outside. And I'm like, okay, you are going to war. Like, Japan is in your territory. And you're like, and then you go drop her off. And then you stand there for like 5 minutes talking about flowers. That's like 5 hours. And I'm just having anxiety over here being like, you're someone's gonna invade your country. You need to go. Well, that's besides the point. I'm overreacting. I know.
You're not overreacting. There's a lot of
Hello.
like weird crap going on that I'm watching. I'm like, that doesn't make any sense.
No, it
That
doesn't.
doesn't make any sense. I'm super confused. She had to go to Seoul. I thought they were all in Busan. I don't know where anybody is anymore.
I don't know anymore. But do you want to talk about the main part of the video and what we're going to be focusing on the rest of the time?
Okay, so Rim was talking to this pregnant woman in a very shady part of town, and he presented her with all these photos, and she didn't believe that they were her, which they weren't technically. Um, of her at this like really nice baby shower and everything, and basically what he said was that life can be yours, but you have to kill your other half, or your version in that in the other universe. Now, that same pregnant lady is in the friend group of the prime minister.
I was actually going to call that out and be like, you do realize that's her friend. By the way, the whole thing, the whole conversation the prime minister had with her friends, I wouldn't call them her friends. I would just call them her frenemies, I
Hmm.
guess. Does that make
So
sense? Frenemies?
here's my theory, because when Tail was listening to the news reports and everything, and she finally clicked that they were from the other side, from the kingdom of Korea. My theory is that all of the murders that she's been investigating have been Rim's little minion peoples killing their opposite halves and dropping them off in that universe.
Yeah, that actually makes sense. I was actually thinking the same thing, that of course the recording came from the other part of came in Korra. But now that you said that, I actually didn't even think about that. And also but also why would the wife run off? You remember in the first murder, the wife ran off?
Mm-hmm.
Why would she run off?
I don't know. All I'm thinking is that like what Rim did with himself, where he killed himself in the Republic universe and sent him back over into the Kingdom universe. They're killing
But
people in the Kingdom universe and sending him back over to the Republic universe. So as far
yeah,
as
but
knows, her husband just died. Like him, the original one. She was gonna run off anyway.
yeah, that's true. But I mean, my thought process is each one of these people that are dying has to play a bigger role. Like,
They
of
might
course,
play a bigger
maybe
role in the Kingdom universe.
yeah. But also, do you realize that the last scene of the last episode was a picture of my boy with a picture of Shinjae, like
Mm-hmm.
of his because he's stalking them. So I wonder if now Shinjae is gonna have to kill.
Yeah,
He
he's
would
probably
not. He
gonna.
wouldn't though.
I think he's gonna come up to Sinjair and find out, like, because we don't know who he is in the Kingdom universe yet. We don't know what role he plays, if he's somewhere else, if he's rich, if he's poor, whatever. We haven't met his doppelganger yet.
Yeah, we haven't at all. Like we've seen the bodyguard. But by the way, did you see the previews for the next episode? Which I'm excited to
Yeah.
see.
So, what is it? Insup and Young is like pointing a gun at his like altar in the other universe and whatever. I'm like, is he gonna kill Insup? Because you can't kill Insup. Insup is
No,
baby and he needs to be protected.
even though he's like barely in the show
I know, but I
at
still
all.
like love him. So.
Yeah. So I wonder though, what is the main issue, like main play of everything? Okay, so he's basically giving other people the better life. Is he just doing that because he internally feels like he deserved a better life, so he's giving it to other people, or is it because it's people that is close to the king that he can kill off but not be noticed?
I think it's gonna be people. So it's gonna be a matter of I've now presented you with this better life and put you into it, and now you are my person. And they're going to be like his moles inside. So he's lining the pregnant woman up with the prime minister who's
Yeah.
very close to the king. And I'm thinking Shinjae is going to be someone that his doppelganger is going to be someone who's also close to the king as well. I don't know where Young and Unsup play in all of this, and I don't know how Young is going to make it over into the Republic side, but I really feel like Rim is like building his bowls into the Kingdom side. So when the ultimate climax hits, like all of these people who like had terrible lives are now living these great lives and they want to keep them. And Rim
Yeah,
gave it to them, so now they have a loyalty to him.
they do. But my other thing is that I wonder though, um, why he didn't come for the flute sooner. I guess does that make sense? Maybe he just didn't know that Gon had it. Because in the end of it, like he was like hugging her and he was like, "Oh, like, okay, Nam is wrong about you. You're not gonna like hurt me, but I can hurt you because
Mhm.
now my uncle knows about the flu and now I know my uncle's alive." I kept on wonder why he didn't come back and try to get the flu, unless it's because he didn't know if he actually had it.
I think he probably didn't know until now,
Yeah, that would make
because there was kind of
sense.
like an aha moment last week
Mm-hmm.
of, oh, he's crossing both sides, because I think the first time Gon crossed and the paint like froze in the middle of the air,
Mm-hmm.
he thought it was weird, but then the next time when time froze, he was like, hey, like, by the way, like that Gon must be going back and forth now.
Yeah, yeah, exactly.
Now he knows. I'm pretty sure they both know that they now both know, because Gon was talking to his uncle, the other prince, about the autopsy forgery
Mm-hmm.
and how like it's a huge deal to forge an autopsy report. And he was also talking about how the original one, the person they did the autopsy on, had polio. Because I had to look it up. I'm like, what is poliomyelitis? And I was like, I didn't realize it's just straight up polio. I was like, something with the bones.
Yeah, yeah. I knew you were gonna know that.
So I actually went and Googled it today, and I was like, oh, it's just straight up polio.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
he's like, yeah, that body had polio, and he wasn't healthy, but the real Rim is. So like something happened and the bodies got switched, or that
Yeah.
body showed up.
Well,
And so now Gon understands that like the uncle's still alive.
yeah, and he's gonna come for him. But I can't help but wonder though how Shinji plays in this whole thing. Like, who is he in the other world? Is he like someone like someone that can actually like change things? Because I can't see the character Shinji. Oh, maybe we can. Maybe this is a play up to everything. Like, we seen that him getting beat up. We see him that his mom is basically a gambling addicted or addicted to gambling.
Mm-hmm.
We're seeing the bad side of his life. Maybe because the drama's eventually going to have to justify the fact that he's going to want to kill his other self. Even though I don't necessarily see him doing it.
Or
Maybe
not
he'll go
necessarily
over.
kill his other self, maybe kill the king. I could see Shinji killing the king or attempting to.
I can see that too,
He
actually.
doesn't like the king. He's had this vendetta against him this whole time because he's all up in his girl Tail, and Tail's been there for him the whole time, and now she's leaving him for the king. Because anytime that Gon ever comes up, he gets this like look on his face.
Well, also, like, if you think about it, like, I feel bad for his character, mostly because the fact that, um, so put yourself in his shoes.
Mm-hmm.
This is someone that's been in his life since high school, or assuming high school. Someone that has saved him from bullies, someone who has always been there for him, someone who's always been pushing him, someone that he desperately loves. And then here comes this random guy on a horse taking his girl. I'd
Right.
be pissed too. I'd be fucking pissed. So I mean, I would not blame him for killing Gon. Who is? I am going to eventually, if when I have time this week, make a video of Gon being a psychopath because all the things he says come off like Joe and from the Netflix show You.
Mm-hmm.
Just saying. Just saying. Just saying.
But I think Shinji is definitely like the perfect character to have an arc where he can become he's kind of in this like neutral level, but he's really on like the fence of like really could go either way.
Mm.
And if Rim comes up to him and says, "I can give you like all of your wildest dreams. I can give you your mom who was never a gambling addict," or like whatever. I don't know what he could possibly promise him. I mean, for God's sakes, the flute could, and I guess, move heaven and earth. Like he literally could give him anything.
Maybe in this universe, he's with her, but Luna. I mean, I guess
With
Luna.
Luna, yeah.
That would be the one thing that I could see, like him having a happy family.
Mm-hmm.
I could see him fighting for that.
But
Damn.
also, at like at the same time, I'm like, not Shinji, but Young holding a gun to his alter self. Like, does Young, is he, I guess salty toward, I can't think of the word I'm trying to think of. Someone use salty, toward the
Mhm.
king for
Mhm.
basically, he's always been right there for Gon, and he's stood right by his side, and he'll take a bullet for him, but essentially, Young hasn't had the opportunity to have the family that Unsub has. So would he want to
So
take Unsub's life?
I can't help but wonder that not Gon, I'm sorry, that the bodyguard does not believe the whole situation that's happening. He doesn't believe that this is something possible.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like one time since Gon's gonna go see her, he's gonna follow after him.
Mm.
And Gon's gonna be like, okay, well, meet your other self, and he's gonna get freaked out. He's gonna be like, pull out a gun. But then I
Mm.
have a feeling that all of a sudden his kids are gonna come out, and he's gonna be like, I feel like you're right. He's gonna be disappointed. He's gonna be upset because you're right. I feel like he probably would like a family because as a child he seemed very bright and bubbly, but now as an adult he's definitely a lot more sharper on the edges.
I also think it's adorable too that the actor that used to play the young version of Gon, or not Gon, the young version of Young,
Mm-hmm.
is also the son of Unsub.
I didn't realize. Why do you realize this stuff and I don't?
I
I just
don't know.
don't. I just don't pay attention. I'm just more focused on the subtitles, and I'm like, I need to break down every single thing I read, and I need to remember it. I need to know it, and I don't pay attention to faces anymore, except if it's
Oh,
like Shinji or Lehman knows.
so when he
But
was talking to, like, when Rim came by the coffee shop and everything, and like he was upstairs and it was pouring rain and whatnot, and then you saw the lightning all the way up his face, which for some reason Rim, it doesn't hurt. I don't know if he's just been through it too much and it doesn't bother him anymore. And then the little boy saw
Like,
it, and like the face was scary and he started crying, and I'm like, that's the same little boy that played the younger version of them.
that's so sad, but it would make sense though. It would make sense the fact that that's
Crying.
his son because like that would be him as a child. That's so cute. Um, but do you have any conspiracy theories? Not conspiracy theories, I guess that's the wrong term. But do you have any theories for the future episodes of what you think is going to happen?
Theories for future episodes? No, because this whole thing, like every time I'm like, oh well, this is a storyline that's going to get played out, they kind of close it pretty quickly. But I definitely think the murders that Tail has been I guess investigating this whole time are the bodies of the people from the kingdom being brought over from by Rim to be dropped off and be the investigated murders. I want to know how Tail's getting all these like news recordings.
Oh, she got those news recordings from that first murder that happened, and
Oh yeah,
she
yep,
found
yep.
the phone.
And she was listening to it, and then like she was having flashbacks because I guess they weren't sounding right, and then she
Hmm.
remembered that like how they were referring to the northern part of Korea. It wasn't North Korea, it was like northern or whatever. And like that's when all of that started to click together. So I really feel like the worlds are starting to merge more.
Yeah, yeah,
So
I
I'm
completely
really
agree.
interested to see how they're going to start merging them back and forth, because I feel like we're going to start going back and forth a lot more.
Yeah. I do have a feeling that the fangirl who I forgot her name, I actually printed out all the characters, so I should know who
Yeah.
Mong Sonya. I feel
So
like
yeah, Sanya.
she and Nori
Yeah, Nari.
are gonna meet too. Like I have a feeling that there's like he's gonna give the same opportunity to her too. But I
Yeah.
don't know because like both of their lives are good. Like she's working in a king, like in a palace with a boy that she's had a crush on. Like
Hmm.
no way I would do that with my infinite bias. I would be like, yeah, I'm gonna here to stay. And her other self works at a cafe and has like a really successful life.
Hmm.
So I don't know.
I
I
don't
guess like
know.
this drama has so many twists and turns. Um, yeah, I think last week, like I said, I didn't know if I liked this drama, and I remember we texted right after we watched episode 5, and I was like, we're both like, we are like glued to this. Like this is so good.
Hmm.
Um, I feel that way. I feel like there are a lot of things that were fixed that I had questioned about, but uh I do I still don't like the fact that he's so in love with her. I feel like there should be a reason why he's in love with her. Maybe I don't know. I just don't like that.
Yeah,
I didn't like the kiss.
I mean, at this point, it's kind of like I think they rushed the romance because there's going to be more to the storyline, and so if you just kind of like solidify that, like that's a thing that's happening, then the story can kind of move on. I like that the story kind of like builds to a certain point and then moves on. So her not accepting that there can be alternate universes, and now she's in it, and like her not knowing where the news stories are coming from, and now she knows. Like things aren't really like played out forever, which is great because that means like the story can keep moving forward. um
Yeah, but my other thing is that like I like to Goblin because this is one of the writers who wrote Goblin, and Goblin had a way of telling the story. Although Goblin did have a lot of, let's be honest, plot holes and things that were wrong with it. I loved it for what it was. Um, but I keep saying I'm sorry. But there was I just felt like there was like enough story of how she fell in love with him, and maybe we're
yeah.
getting that now with her. We're getting her side of the love story, which I do like. But I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I screamed when she hugged him finally when she was crying. He's like, "Did you wait for
Hmm.
me?" She's like, and I'm like, I'm just like, oh my god, I can't do it.
I can't handle this.
I
uh,
can't.
I also think it's kind of funny too that they took the tail storyline of her not accepting the alternate universe and gave it to Young, and Young is doing the exact same things that she was
Yeah, the
doing,
fact,
but now
the
she's
fact,
like, hey, like here's my thumbprints, I know
take
what
it.
you're about to go do. And
Yeah.
like she's like, I'm not going to come back into the system, like I already know what's going to happen, which I thought she would come back in the system because she's Luna.
No. She is Luna, but oh yeah, so that defeats the whole purpose that we were thinking about.
Mm.
That the fact that Gon's fingerprints didn't come up because of the fact that
He was a kid.
his kid when he died.
Luna is very
But
much alive.
yes,
So I
yes,
thought her fingerprints would come back. And when the two gangsters were talking to Young in the train station and was like, "Hey, that's Luna," I'm like, "So wouldn't the fingerprints come back?" Like,
right,
and
right.
I thought that Young would confront her about that as well,
Mhm,
because I feel like he would have thought that like she somehow wormed her way into Gon's life,
mhm.
even though he recognized her from the lanyard. So like I don't know how Young is feeling about all of this. I think he's just super confused.
I feel so too. Um, I don't know. I can't wait for the next episode. I'm excited for him to see his other self.
I am too.
Because we don't really get to see a lot of his other half in the drama at all. But what we see, he comes off as a cute, adorable marshmallow. That's it.
And now the marshmallow's
Um,
gonna have a gun in his face.
oh no, I'm not allowing it. I'll scream at the screen. I'll be like, no, put the gun away. No. Um,
Right.
but is there anything else you want to add?
No, I really like these two episodes. I think it gave me a lot more like conspiracy theories, and now I'm looking forward to the next one to see if I'm right or if I'm wrong.
Yeah, and I guess the only thing I want to say to end it off is a question to you, Sam.
Hmm.
If Rim came up to you today and told you you had your perfect life that you could imagine, would you kill your other self?
No.
Not I mean kill it, but I mean I guess he's the one killing them. But would
No,
you
he's
allow
having them
him?
kill each other.
I
It's
don't know.
like
I felt
keeping his
like
fingerprints off of everything.
oh,
He told her she had to do it.
I thought that he would do it, and then she would just have to say
No,
yes.
she has to do
I,
it.
I could not kill my other self. I'm
I
lazy
would
as
no,
fuck.
I couldn't. I wouldn't be able to.
Yeah,
I don't care how perfect it is and how much money I had. I just wouldn't be able to.
be able to do it, especially because you have to leave the people you know now.
Hmm. In my
Mm,
life, you know what, my life's not perfect, but I like it and I worked hard for it. So why would I give it up?
I would do it. I'm just kidding. I would not do it. That look at your face. You're like, oh fuck. But like, let's be honest. I'm lazy as hell. And I'm fine where I am in life. You know. Uh, but I think I can't wait for the next episode.
Me either. I'm excited. Is it Friday? Because I want it to be Friday so I can watch the next one.
Exactly.
So
Uh,
yeah, so that's the discussion. I hope you like the new format. I'm liking it.
yeah. Yeah. Me too.
If you have anything you want to discuss, any like conspiracy theories, anything that you wish we'd talked about, like put them in the comments below. We'll talk about them. Like we'll get back to you pretty quick. Like I said, we're constantly watching the email because
Mhm.
what's a life? Who has
Yeah.
lives anymore? It's
I don't have a life.
coronavirus. There's killer
I'm.
hornets. What are you talking about?
Yeah. I know.
Um,
Right.
and anyway, like if you like this video, hit the like button. And if you want to subscribe and to know when our next video is, which we'd appreciate it, make sure you hit the subscribe button down below. And yeah, thank you for watching.
Okay. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know why I've been recently. I've been saying bye, but bye,
Bye.
bye.